Hey guys, welcome back to DFS Zone, your source for daily fantasy sports lineups for the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball. It's your boy Manny here, and right now we're going to go over the stud 5 for today, March the 16th, 2018. We have a 6-game slate, nice little slate, a couple good games. There's a couple games that, are so-so, but I still was able to do a little bit of research, look up some things, and I got 5 good possible plays for you guys out there if you wish to use them. They're going to be in my lineup, and at least a couple of different lineups today. I'm going to use the stud 5, and let's just dive right in, all right? First stud of the day will be at point guard. I used this gentleman the other day, and he came out and he really balled his butt off, and he's going to need to do it again today, and that is Mr. Terry Rozier, okay? Terry Rozier is out in Orlando. He has had a 36 spot with them a couple games back. Not so much so about what he's done against Orlando. It's just simply Orlando is really a poor team defensively against the point guard. They're the worst in the league, at least as far as the statistics show, which is dead last, 30th. But at the same time, we know that Rozier is going to have to take the bulk of the shots. He's going to have to make things happen, and he's going to have to be the offensive threat for the Boston Celtics in this game. The only drawback about this game is that there's a possibility of a blowout. But then again, we are playing in Orlando, and Orlando does play fairly much better at home than they do away. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt that Orlando will be in this game for a little while because of Boston not having all their studs on the court. This also is an honorable mention also to Mr. Morris, who I had the other night on my on the same slate 2 nights ago. I had him also as one of my studs because I felt that these two guys really needed to step up with all these guys hurt, and they both came through. And you could also look into in this Boston game if you wanted to. You could also look at Jason Tatum. So just a couple little puts in there for you guys, just in case you're not too sure about Rozier. Other than Rozier, my second choice, my second stud of the day is going to stay in the point guard position, and I'm going to go with Mr. Isaiah Thomas of the Los Angeles Lakers. Isaiah is in a good spot here. Now here you have a choice. You could go with Ball too, because Miami, they're not too bad against point guards. The only thing is that both of these guys, Ball as well as Mr. Thomas, have had pretty good outings against them, and that's where I'm basing my decision on it today. Is that Isaiah's had 2 outings against the Miami Heat this year, and he has put in he put a 39 spot, almost a 40 spot, and he put another 38 on the nose against them. So he's good for about what his value is. I expect him to be in that 30 to 35 range, and I expect him maybe to possibly, he has a good upside too. He can very easily go for 7-8x in this game. So I think he is definitely in a good spot here. And those are my 2 studs for the day as far as at point. As shooting guard, my third stud is going to be Mr. Lou Will. Now, I had Lou Will, for those who've been following or at least listened to the video yesterday, I had him as a stud 5 out of my stud 5 lineup yesterday, and he was the only stud that did not come through last night because the other 4 did their job. I think Lou Will's going to bounce back here. He's playing OKC, and he's actually has done very well against OKC in his last two meetings. He has had 40 and 44, and he's had 6 straight games right now. He's really playing well. He's played 6 straight games, against OKC, where he's been at value or above. So he really has owned OKC over the last 6 games against them. So I expect that to be no different today, especially after he had that letdown yesterday. I expect him to bounce back today and be thrill Will all over again. So I would say punch in Mr. Lou Will for tonight as stud number 3. Stud number 4 is going to come out of the power forward position, and I am going with Mr. James Johnson of the Miami Heat. Okay, James Johnson going up against the Lakers in LA. He's also had some success against LA. He's not only that, so he's had 23, 30, and 36 in his last 3 outings against LA. But he's also now currently has had 3 out of 4 games where he's been at value or above. So he is playing very well right now. and I believe this is a good matchup for him, especially if Kuzma is still a little banged up, because that means he's going to have to deal with Rand, but he's going to have to battle here. This is a good spot for him because he's got to battle with these guys, and LA likes to go up and down the court. And this guy likes to, really position himself under the boards and really bang away. And I think he's got a good matchup here, going at it with Mr. Randall and Kuzma. So I would say, punch in Mr. James Johnson as your stud number 4 out of the 5, and then stud number 5 is coming from the center position. And I mean, he's going to be probably highly owned today. He's going to be chalk, and that's Mr. Joel Embiid. I think Embiid is in a good spot here. He's at home. He's playing Brooklyn. Brooklyn is terrible against the 5. They're one of the worst in the league with the center position, actually the worst at number 30, right on the nose. And he's also put up 39. He's put a 40 spot and a 49 spot against the Nets in his last 2 outings. I think he's good for 50 or plus, 50 plus here tonight. And I would say punch in Mr. Embiid for your 5th stud. And there goes your 5 studs for today, guys. You got Mr. Rozier, you got Isaiah Thomas, you got Lou Will, you got James Johnson, and Joel Embiid. Right now I'm going to go over a couple of guys that I think are worthy mentions for tonight. Some guys you may want to consider. You have a couple of guys that look pretty good on paper, and I would say going into tonight you can consider in the center position. You could also consider here Jordan, DeAndre Jordan. He's in a good spot with OKC, especially if Steven Adams is not able to play. Another guy who's in a good spot and has been very hot. He's he's been on fire. He's had 5 of his last 6 games. He's been above value, and that's Mr. Brook Lopez for the Los Angeles Lakers against the Heat today. And especially if there is no Whiteside, which as we see here on the screen, Mr. Hassan Whiteside is out with that hip injury, so he's actually in a good spot. He will be in some of my lineups today too, and that's Mr. Brook Lopez. Power forward, I would say watch Dario Saric tonight. He's in a good spot. He's had 2 good plus games against the Nets, so he's in a good spot. He'll probably be in a few of my lineups. Tobias Harris, another good play against OKC, so someone to consider there. Of course, you could always consider Mr. Julius Randle against Miami, against James Johnson. He's had 39 and 30 in his last 2 games, so he's been playing extremely well. At the small forward position, I would say, obviously got to have a consideration for Jason Tatum against Orlando, because he's got to be one of the 3 top dogs for the Celtics to be able to score and to keep the Celtics in games. So I would say he's going to definitely get the most usage out of the small forward guys and the guys in the 3, 4, or 5 spot. So I expect him to get a lot of time on the court, and he will be someone to consider. I also would definitely consider in the shooting guard. You have DeMarcus Russell of the Brooklyn Nets. He's had a 33 and 37 against Philadelphia in his last 2 outings. I would think that he's a good choice for tonight, also in the 2 guard. Another combination, maybe Buddy Hield and Bogdanovich are a good spot too. The last time they played against Golden State, they both netted 32 and 31 apiece fantasy points. And then, of course, another notable mention here would be Mr. Pope for the Lakers. He's had 3 out of 5 games above value against Miami, and he has actually been playing very well for the Lakers as well. At point guard, I would say definitely got to consider Mr. Lowry. He has had 43, 39, and 54 fantasy points in 3 games previously against Dallas. He was one of my ones that I was considering for the stud 5. I did elect to go with Thomas and Rozier, but he will be in some of my lineups as well, and I think that's someone that you guys could also consider too. As far as value plays, I don't see a whole lot of value plays. I would think you could definitely keep an eye on Olenek. I also think another one would be Dirk Nowitzki would be in a good spot, or Mr. Powell. Mid-tier guys, Serge Ibaka is possibly a good choice there. And value plays, I would think that's pretty much it as far as value plays in any given position. I don't see maybe Mr. Van Fleet or Mr. Mason might be someone to consider if you want to just fill in your roster with 2 or 3 studs. Maybe those are some value plays there. Those guys have done okay, but I would it's not me for me personally. I won't be on Van Fleet or Frank Mason, but they are someone that if you guys want to stack up some studs, they'll probably be good values for you guys. But basically that's it, guys. This is the stud 5 again. Mr. Rozier, okay, Thomas, Williams, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Embiid. I wish everybody a lot of luck. I hope everybody makes a lot of money tonight. I'm hoping to do the same, and I'll be back tomorrow with the stud 5 tomorrow, man. All right, everybody take care, and guys, please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and we have a lot of things coming very, very soon. We're working on a website. We're working on a number of things, so I'll keep you posted on that. Anybody has any questions, anybody wants to hit me up, or at any point you can hit me up at Twitter at Manny at DFS_zone, or you can hit me up on Instagram at DFS Zone. All right, guys, everybody have a good night. Make some money. God bless. Manny's out.